Hello, my name is Desmond Cho, and this is Legal and Ethical Frameworks for IT. Overview. Technology affects real life. Bad decision can lead to data breaches, loss of privacy, or harm to users. Laws don't always keep up with fast moving tech, so ethical judgment fills the gap. IT professionals are held to higher standards. They must protect users' data, follow the law, and act fairly. Um, Reputation is everything. Ethical choice helps build trust with users, customers, and the public. This framework is meant to help IT professionals make smart and responsible choices when dealing with legal and ethical issues in technology. It brings together what we've learned together in this class with research and real world examples to create a step by step guide for handling tough decisions. The goal is to prevent problems like data misuse, unfair treatment, and legal troubles that promote trust and accountability in IT. Free speech in IT. Twitter and Section 230. Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act protects platforms like Twitter from being sued over what their users post, while allowing them to moderate content in good faith. The, this law has helped social media grow, but it's also controversial. Some say it gives platforms way too much power, while others say it's essential for free speech. Recent political debates, especially during the Trump administration, has have challenged how much freedom platforms should have under Section 230. Twitter's approach to free speech is shaped by its own policies, social expectations, and legal protections, like Section 230. While Twitter supports open expression, it also removes harmful content like hate speech and misinformation. Its rule evolved with public opinion, but enforcement can feel inconsistent, and some groups, especially conservatives, have accused Twitter of political bias. Google in China, ethical versus censorship. In 2006, Google entered the Chinese market by launching Google.cn, but doing so meant agreeing to the Chinese government's demand to censor search results. This move conflicted with Google's core values to open access to information. China's internet is tightly controlled through law, surveillance, and the Great Firewall, which blocks unwanted content. Over time, Google faced growing ethical concerns and reputation damage from cooperating with this control. This case highlights the tough balance between operating in foreign markets and sticking to ethical principles, especially in countries with strict censorship and state control. IT privacy regulation, Facebook and Cambridge Analytica. Data for more than 87 million Facebook users was harvested without proper concern. Cambridge Analytica accessed user data through a quiz app, also collecting data from friends, revealing serious flaws in Facebook's privacy controls and concern practices. This scandal spotlighted the need for stricter privacy laws and enforcement. It also elevated the EU's GDPR as the global privacy standard. Facebook pledged to adopt the GDPR principle globally, although enforcement remains a challenge. Now, what I've learned from these three different cases is that from Google in China, um, ethical values versus authoritarian censorship creates business dilemma. Regulatory compliance may conflict with the transparency and human rights. Companies may choose to exit markets to preserve core principle. Facebook versus Cambridge Analytica. Poor concern practices lead to massive privacy breach. Third parties' data access must be tightly monitored the scandal helped establish the global privacy law like GDPR as the standard practice. Twitter versus and Section 230. Um, Section 230 shields platforms like Twitter, Facebook, and so on from legal liability from what the users post on their platform, allowing the platforms to moderate content freely, but raise firm concerns highlights that need the need for transparency and a clear content policy. Legal and ethical decision making. Does the action comply with local, national, and international laws, GDPR, CCPA, Section 230? Are contracts, terms of service, and data agreement being honored? Is the user data being collected, stored, and shared lawfully? Ethical, the ethical filters. Is the decision transparent and fair? How does this affect all stakeholders, the users, the employees, and society? Would this action be considered ethical if made public? Very good question to ask. Some things to consider behind the framework design. The speech. Is the content being shared harmful or misleading or protected under free speech law? Are moderation policies applied fairly and consistently? Regulation. Are we following platforms' rules and legal guidelines? Are changes in tech laws like update to the Section 230 or GDPR considered in the decision making? Well, privacy. Have users clearly agreed to how their data is being used? Is sensitive information protected and encrypted? Are we minimizing data collection to only what is necessary? These are some of the questions we have to ask when designing the framework. An example scenario is a team is designing a new feature that uses AI to recommend content. Now, for the legal part, they check that it follows the GDPR and the CCPA rules about user profiling. And then ethical, they review if the recommendations could create filter bubbles or reinforce biases. Speech, they ensure that AI doesn't promote harmful content or misinformation. And for the privacy, they build it in clear options in settings that explain how users' data is being used. Framework visualization. A good framework visualization is to start with the project idea. Once you have your project idea, you need to make sure that you're within legal bounds to carry out your project idea without violating anybody's rights. The ethical, you need to make sure that it's transparent and it's responsible. Filter the area filter. Does it involve speech, regulation, and or privacy? Now, specific questions that need to be asked during the creation of this idea is the content harmful? Is the content encrypted? Will there be any data breach, and how can we protect ourselves against the data breach? Now, then we move on to modifying the have the project based on the answers that come up during these steps of the visualization process. Global impact and future trend. This framework can help companies navigate IT ethics across different countries. Laws like the GDPR in Europe and the growing interest in AI laws worldwide makes this essential. It prepares organizations to handle issues like surveillance, misinformation, and data misuse. As AI grows, framework like this could help guide responsible innovations, build users' trust globally, requires fairness, clear policies, and human oversight. And in conclusion, my framework provides a step by step approach to making responsible decisions in IT. It helps ensure compliance with legal standards and promotes ethical integrity, by considering areas like speech, regulations, and privacy. My framework, supports well rounded, thoughtful decision making. My personal reflection, this course has deepened my understanding of how ethics and law interacts with each other in the IT world. I've learned that following the law isn't always enough. Ethics fills the gap when the law falls short. Creating frameworks help me think like an IT leader, balancing innovation with responsibility. I feel like I'm more prepared to handle real world IT challenges by applying legal knowledge and ethical reasoning together in order to make a perfect symmetry, synchronized reference.